Hi everyone. So today we are going to look at linking verbs that look like action verbs and then something else called infinitives. So first you're going to watch the video and then we're going to move into this big idea here, the green box. So we already know a lot about verbs. We learned that they are the predicate of a sentence. We learned about action verbs. We learned about linking verbs. We have learned about verb phrases, right? So now we're going to move into some more linking verbs, but these linking verbs are tricky because they look like action verbs. So let's just go straight into an example because I think it's the best way to learn this. So we have a sentence here. The pizza smells delicious. And we can see that pizza is our subject and smells is our predicate. Now, smells, we think of that as an action, right? We take in air through our nose and our olfactory system kicks in and we smell something. All right, so that is an action. But here in this sentence, pizza is actually a linking verb because smells is not showing what the pizza did. The pizza does not have a nose. The pizza can't do this action, right? So because the pizza is not performing any action, it's not doing anything, it's not an action verb. So it's a linking verb here. Remember when we learned about linking verbs? And we said linking verbs link the subject to more information about the subject. So here, that linking verb smells is just linking pizza to delicious. It's not telling us that the pizza did something, right? All right, here's a little trick because this can be tricky. If you can replace some form of be, like am, is, are, with that verb, and the sentence still makes sense, then you've probably got yourself a linking verb. Some people like to use the word seems instead of the verb or the word becomes. You could do that too. I think it's easier just to remember am, is, are. So let's look at these examples here. The pizza smells delicious. The pizza is delicious. This makes sense. If we swap out smells for pizza, the sentence still makes sense. It means something a little bit different. That don't be bothered by that. It doesn't matter. It makes sense. So smells is a linking verb. Let's take smells in a different sentence. She smells the flowers. Now, if we swap out smells for is, like we did with the pizza, this sentence is not going to make sense. She is the flowers. That sentence is nonsense, right? That doesn't make any sense. And so we can assume that smells there is an action verb. You can also reason it out too and just say, in the pizza sentence, for example, can the pizza actually smell? Can it perform that action? Can it take air in through its nose and detect, right, with its olfactory system? No, of course it can't do that. Whereas she smells the flowers, can she do the action of smelling? Sure she can. So this can be an action verb. Here is a list of some common verbs that can be linking or action depending upon how they're used. They have to do with our senses to begin with, and then there's a couple others. So look, smell, touch, appear, sound, taste, feel. Those, depending upon how they're used, like smells, we just dealt with that one, could be action or linking. Turn, remain, prove, and grow are others. All right. So your practice with that today is right here. Highlight the subject and the predicate in the sentence, just like we have been doing for a couple of weeks now. Remember that we're talking about simple subject and simple predicate unless we say otherwise. We did start off with complete subject and predicate, but we've moved beyond that. So simple subject, simple predicate. And then after the sentence, I want you to type either the word action or the word linking. Is your predicate an action verb or is it a linking verb? Now, all of these predicates in these sentences come from this list where they can be either. So you're going to have to look at how they're used and think to yourself, can my subject literally do that action? And you can also test it by sticking is or am or are, whichever would be appropriate, in there to see if it makes sense. So again, I have that pizza. So the pizza smells delicious. I identified pizza as my subject, smells as my predicate, and here I know that smells is a linking verb, so I wrote linking there. And that's exactly what you're going to do for these next 5 sentences. Subject, predicate, and then indicate whether that predicate is an action verb or a linking verb. All right, the next big thing, big idea, is infinitives. This is pretty straightforward. If a verb starts with to, that is an infinitive. All right, like to swim, to run, to jump, to laugh. All right, you can think of a million of them. Those are special and we call them infinitives. Infinitives are never the predicate of the sentence. They sound verby, I know that, and they are kind of verby, but they're never the actual verb that goes with the subject. They're never going to be your predicate. Don't worry about what they are right now, what sort of grammatical function they serve. If they're not the subject and they're not the predicate, well, then what are they? Who cares for now? We'll get there eventually, but it doesn't matter that you can identify them as something else yet. Just know that they're not the predicate. So here, if you look at this example sentence, I like to swim. I just wanted to point this out because I don't want anyone to mistakenly identify swim as the subject of the predicate, sorry, as the predicate of the sentence. Here our predicate is like. I is the subject, and what is I doing, or what are we saying about I? I like is our subject predicate set. I like, not I swim. Because swim is part of this infinitive, to swim. That can never be the subject. All right. So your job, your little practice that you're going to do with this bit of information is right here. Again, highlight the subject and the predicate in the sentence. We're sticking with simple subject, simple predicate. Here's the example. Everyone wanted to go, and I identified the pronoun everyone as my subject, and then the action verb wanted. And we have here to go. Go is a verb, right? That's something that someone can do. It's an action verb. But because it's with to go, that turns it into an infinitive. It cannot be your predicate. So just identify subject and predicate in these sentences, keeping in mind that an infinitive cannot be the predicate. And that's it for today. If you have questions or concerns, please Google Meet with me and have a great day.